Hey you guys, and welcome back to Mercury Minded Tarot. My name is Chelsea, and if you are new here, hello and welcome. I like to do tarot and astrology related content and also pick-a cards like the one I have in store for today. So if those are things that you are interested in, I mean, why not like or subscribe or tell me what you want to see in the comments. But it's up to you. It's all you. I'm just here to give you the message. You can do with that what you will. Okay? So, you're interested in what November has in store for you, huh? Well, then stick around because you are absolutely in luck. That is what I'm going to cover today. I'm going to have the cards all laid out for you. You can pick which group speaks to you. You can pick more than one if that's what you're into. And we'll take a gander into what November might be bringing your way. Okay, everyone, here we have our 4 piles. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know the drill. You can pause the video if you need to meditate on which of these groups is calling out to you the most. I know some of you will go by whichever one pops out to your eyes first. Truthfully, there are so many methods that can be used to identify which group is meant for you. So tap into your intuition and just do whatever method works best for you, okay? We have here group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. Once you've taken a moment to figure out which group or groups was speaking to you, I will have the timestamps listed down in the description box below, so you can go ahead and fast forward to those and I will meet you there. Okay, group 1, let's take a look at this spread, see what we have going on, what jumps out at me first. I think I'd like to start by addressing our 2 tarot cards, which are the 4 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles. Now, let's kind of break this down. The 4 of Pentacles can be apathy, it can be discontentment. It's like taking a moment to yourself, being more introspective, self-reflective. And then over here we have the 8 of Pentacles, which is I associate with work, with dedication, consistency, just a really strong work ethic. So when I put these 2 together for November, your theme might be like not feeling appreciated or recognized at work or in your career. Now, what helps confirm that for me is the fact that over here we have the 10th house, which is the house literally of your career, of success, with status, okay? And Leo over here, you know, we know that most Leos, I'm gonna get a Leo in the comments like, that's not me, but a lot of Leos like attention. They like feeling appreciated, feeling valued. So really, your biggest obstacle, I guess, for November that's jumping out to me right here is just not feeling happy in your place of employment. Now, the other thing, if this isn't career related, for some of you, this may be about a particular talent or skill that you've been trying to develop and master, okay? Because that's associated with the 8 of Pentacles as well, all right? It's like not an apprenticeship card, but just really trying to make something of yourself. So you could be feeling, you know, down on yourself for not progressing as fast as you may like. Maybe you haven't gotten the recognition for a talent that you think you should. Because again, with Leo, there's some hurt pride that comes along with that. Now, this is getting a little specific, but for some of you, I am picking up that this talent is definitely on the creative or artistic side. In particular, I feel like writing. Okay, for some reason, I get that from Scorpio, and the 2 air cards we have here, literally air and Aquarius. I just feel like it has something to do with words. Your talent or your skill that you're trying to develop, whether that be poetry, creative writing, if it's journalism, you know, more on the career side of things. I just feel like there's something to do with words here, you know, because air is very intellectual. Scorpio really packs the feeling and the passion in there. And with Aquarius as well, it's something that maybe hasn't been done before, or you're putting like a fresh new spin on things. But for sure, you've been so excited about it. And you think, you know, with Leo in the 10th house, you really think it deserves recognition, that it deserves some attention and some, I don't want to say fanfare, but you think it should be getting noticed. You think you should be getting noticed more than you are. Now, the message from Sagittarius down here, look at the bigger picture. One, I want to tell you that with Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, right? So this tells me that you do have good luck and fortune on your side this month. But again, the message to look at the bigger picture. Just remember, if this is a talent that you've just started, or that even if you've been going at it for a while, just keep in mind that sometimes progress, even if it's slow, is still progress. You are still advancing. You are still making steps and moves in the right direction. So don't get too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up so bad, okay? Because the Four of Cups, again, that discontentment, that apathy, that, not seeing kind of what's in front of you. You know, she has her eyes closed in the picture here. Now, some of you, again, going back to work in school life here in November for you, Group 1, some of you feel like you are putting in more effort than other people, which again is frustrating you. We have Martyr down here. So it's like you're feeling, I don't want to say you're feeling sorry for yourself, but you're feeling like no one else is putting in as much effort as you are, that you are the one doing the most. And I can say you're the one doing the most because we have action down here. This action oracle card saying that you have been go, 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 and it's getting tiring for you. It's getting exhausting for you because you feel like you're doing so much and no one else is holding up their end of the bargain or their end of the deal. Okay, what I'm seeing now for you, Group 1, October, in regards to relationships, in particular, your romantic ones, I want to point out some cards here. So we have my Love Oracle that says the only thing, what does this even say? The only thing that is real is love. This Virgin card, Darkness, and back here to our Aquarius card, it says here on it to bring love into the situation. How do I put this? Some of you are scared of intimacy. Some of you are scared of forming those deep connections. It's almost like you fear the vulnerability. And that can be something associated with Scorpio, even Leo, all of the fixed signs really, which we do have 3 of the 4 here in this spread. That's a lot of fixed, stubborn energy. But there definitely is a fear of vulnerability. And I don't know if that's, for some of you, that may be because you've never been in a very deep, intimate relationship before, or for those of you that have, maybe you were, maybe you got burned, it didn't end well for you. So there's a fear of opening up. And even on this Virgin card here, it says fear of intimate unions. And with the 4 of Cups, that apathy, you're closing yourself off. For November, I want you to keep that in mind. It's okay to want to protect yourself and to establish boundaries, but make sure your walls aren't so high that no one can climb over them, all right? You don't want to end up isolating yourself under the guise of self-preservation or self-protection. Does that make sense? Now, overcoming this with the 8 of Pentacles here, overcoming this is going to take some work, okay? We have action down here again too. It's going to take some work and it's going to take some real conscious effort. This isn't something that just time is going to repair on its own. You're going to have to make an effort to lower those walls you have and to open up more. If you have been feeling really down, which you might in October, since I do have the Darkness card here, it's important to remember that even if things are dark now, they're not dark permanently, because darkness cannot exist without the light. So the light is there somewhere. You can find it. It's just you're stuck in this. And with Scorpio likes the dark too. They like I don't want to say they like angst, but some of them are really drawn towards the darkness, towards the taboo, towards secrets. You may feel comfortable there. Some of you, I don't want to say it's like a safe space, but some of you are so used to it, it's become like your comfort zone. And breaking out of that is going to be kind of brought forth in November for you, Group 1. Because I think realistically, even if you are in a down period or in a dark time, these cards to me, Leo, Air, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Action, 10th house, these are cards that are communicative, they're friendly, they're loving, and some of you like being in the spotlight. Or if you don't like being in the spotlight, you still like positive attention and recognition and a sense of success and status. And so it's going to be important for you to reconnect with that feeling and don't let yourself get stuck in a slump. Yeah, I keep feeling, especially in relationships, that you gave more than the other person. And this can be romantic, platonic, familial, whatever. The Martyr card here is telling me that you often felt like you were putting in more towards a relationship than the other person was. And so it's kind of like, ugh, like why do it again, you know? But not cliche, but it's true that not everyone is going to treat you that same way. And it's okay to shift your focus back to love. It's okay to open yourself up and be vulnerable again. Oof, that's gonna be hard for you. Because some of you guys are like control freaks, aren't you? I'm sorry, group one. Some of you really like being in control, and you feel like if you don't have that, then why do it? You don't like listening. I don't want to say you don't like listening to other people, but you don't like other people bossing you around. You like being the one to call the shots and be in charge. That's interesting. It's definitely some conflicting energy here for you in November, group one. So that's really what I'm seeing for you in November. Communication is going to be huge. And I actually believe that we go into Mercury retrograde on Halloween. We do. So that'll be interesting. Communication is looking like a really big theme for you. And that's going to be, I don't want to say challenging, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for you. You'll have to let me know. With Mercury being in retrograde, that just implies that there's going to be some challenges in that regard. But I also see this overwhelming desire to feel stability, to feel security. A really big thing for you in November is going to be feeling like you're in charge of your own fate. You're in charge of your own destiny. You want to have this solid foundation laid out to support you through the rest of the year and, beyond that. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you, group one. Very interesting. I personally love the energy here. I don't so much relate to it. I'm not a fixed sign person, but I want you to have faith that the job offers or opportunities that you're actually looking for, they're going to be coming to you. You may even be turning some down. That just hit me. Okay, sorry. So you may be getting job offers, opportunities to express that creative talent or skill. You're gonna be very busy in November, okay? Very, very busy. But I hope that that works out for you, and I hope you can feel more stable and secure in not only your professional and creative endeavors, but also in yourself and in your relationships, because you deserve to have love in your life. So with that being said, I thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the next group. All right, group two, what do we have happening for you in November? So the first thing that really stood out to me is actually all happening in this part of the spread, where we have the 8th house, Taurus, Midas, Miser, Beggar, and Abundance. Immediately to me, November is going to have a heavy, heavy focus on your finances, possibly even your career, your belongings, definitely just a focus on resources. And I even, right here in the Taurus card, I have the word resources staring at my face. So the 8th house, I know everyone associates with sex, occult, magic, but taboo. It is also all about resources. Again, there's that word on this card, resources, and more importantly, other people's money, which when I look at beggar, I feel like you may have been maybe dependent on other people for financial support. Or if it's not financial, then maybe you were dependent on them, for a place to live, dependent on someone for food, just any kind of support, realistically. And with Midas and Miser, there's a fear of losing that resource. There's a fear of losing your money, losing your support. And when I say fear, I look over here at the Scorpio new moon card we have, which says work through your fears. You're really stressed out. I'm so sorry, group two. I feel your stress, this burden, but I have good news, okay? Because I see abundance and I see Uranus. And to me, also down here, believe in the impossible. Okay, Uranus is telling me that there is going to be a swift and unexpected change. You're not gonna see it coming. And that's also, blue moon is all about the unexpected things happening that you just did not anticipate or expect at all. So when I see these two cards together, that tells me that this stressful scenario you've been in is going to shift in November. And when we look at our tarot cards here, we have the Ace of Swords and the Four of Wands. This is a new beginning. This is your environment. This could be home, but it's also a card of celebration. When I see these two together, I see you getting that new job. I see you getting that new house or new apartment. This is a change in your environment, and it's definitely something new, and it's definitely something that's going to be happening fast, and it's going to just, I don't say it's going to blindside you because that has such a negative connotation, but it is just going to come out of left field. You're not going to be expecting or looking for this at all. Let's see, what else do I see? I also want to point out for you in November, there is going to be an emphasis on slowing down, okay? Pausing to let things unfold. If you've been go, go, go trying to make this change happen, pull back. Let it happen on its own time, because I promise you, with Uranus, with Ace of Swords, with Blue Moon, change is coming. Change is coming. It's coming fast, and it's going to be a complete 180. Things are just shifting entirely in a different direction, in a new direction. So this card is saying slow down, allow it to happen on its own time. Taurus and Pleasure are saying to me that you need to find an outlet and a release for all this pent up stress and anxiety you have over this situation. You know, when I look at those with the Four of Wands, maybe it means you need to hang out with your family, with your friends. Being alone is not maybe the best thing for you this November. I just see other people playing such a big role in your life this month. As much as the 8th house is about tapping into your personal power, it's also about other people's resources, other people's money, other people's assistance. Beggar has that focus too. Someone else may be swooping in and doing the rescuing for you. I know some of you may not want to be rescued. We have, you know, 2 fixed signs here. Actually, they're sister signs, Scorpio and Taurus. You know, they like to be pretty self-reliant and self-sufficient, but someone else is coming to your aid in November, and you need to just slow down and have trust that they're gonna show up and help be this catalyst for you. So diving further into relationships and more on the romantic side, because the 8th house does have that intimate connotation. I see Scorpio, I see Pleasure, 8th house, you know, these two go hand in hand, Scorpio and the 8th house. How do I say this? Some of you may be having a good time in November. And I say that meaning physically. I do. I see you getting physically intimate with someone that you have, because of Mercury here, that you have good communication with. There's good banter. There's good back and forth. You enjoy talking with them. And this may have been someone that you've been flirting with for a while. And it may have just been flirting. There may have not been anything physical with this person for some of you in the past. Just the good back and forth when you see each other, just really flirty communication. And this might come out of the blue and be unexpected too, but I see you getting more intimate and more involved with that person. I can't say from looking at this spread if it's going to last or not, but if you do hook up with someone, it's not going to be at your house. Remember the change in environment. Sorry, that's so weird. It'll be maybe at their house, not where you're living though. They're not going to come back home with you, if that makes sense. But communication is really huge for you in November, and it was, you know, something that was in another group as well. And I think it's so interesting that communication is going to be so important for so many of you when we do have Mercury going retrograde on Halloween, so right before November. And that's going to be all about, you know, a propensity for miscommunication, things going wrong, people taking what you said wrong, or you taking what people said wrong. So just be aware of that. But I do see this is someone that you had good banter with. They were like fun, kind of like lighthearted, playful flirting. But for some of you, it's gonna get a little steamy. Okay, and you may be like, was this happening? You know, like, wow, like, am I actually doing this? Are we gonna do this? And yep, but not at your house. Sorry, if this is a relationship you are interested in pursuing, maybe making something more long-term out of it, the message here again is to slow down and let it unfold on its own. This whole month is, you know, it's going to be important for you to not rush anything. Don't rush your financial situation. Don't rush your living situation. Don't rush your relationships. Trust that things are going to be unfolding at their own pace when they are meant to. With these two fixed signs, you know, some of you may like being in control. You like things going your way when you want them to, but you just need to let go and trust, which I know is a lot, especially for Scorpio. That's really asking a lot, but that is what I'm getting for you in November, group 2. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the next group. I really appreciate you checking this out, and I will see you next time, okay? Group 3, let's look at what we have going on for you in November. So taking a look first at our 2 tarot cards, we have the 9 of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Together, these lead me to feel like you may have some financial concerns, which is interesting because most of these groups have issues surrounding money this month. But, you know, Ace of Pentacles is money. 9 of Swords is anxieties, guilt, disappointment, fears. So with these together, have you been overspending? I'm sorry. I just saw, okay, we have Jupiter, which is doing everything in excess. Okay, it's go big or go home. It's expansion, it's growth. So that with money, maybe you've been overspending. Okay, and then when I see discernment, this is kind of like thinking more carefully about what you spend your money on. I think you've been spending kind of recklessly, or you might be doing that here in November, especially because I also see Venus. I see Taurus. Now it's kind of cute. These, you know, Taurus is ruled by Venus, but this is all about, you know, arts, entertainment, luxury stuff. So maybe you're spending on going to the movies, spending on fancy restaurants, spending on makeup, spending on clothes, spending on things that you don't need, but things you really want. That's what I see here. Now, let's try to figure out what else is going on in November besides spending a lot of money. There is an emphasis on relationships here, again, because we have Venus, right? We also have Libra down here with the scales signifying partnership. Cancer is talking about your emotional bonds, your attachments to people. For some of you, this is interesting. For some of you, there may literally be a man, all right, because we do have the masculine card down here. There's a man you may be interested in, but for whatever reason, one of you or both of you have hesitations about getting involved with the other. It's almost like they feel that they have to take care of you, that they have to provide for you, or, you know, vice versa. You could feel that way about them. It's trickier to pinpoint who is who in these large general readings. That's why I make it so it could be applying to either or. But with Taurus, you know, this is stability, this is practicality. We have the 4th house, which is your roots, security, feeling supported. And Cancer as well is domesticity. How do you, like being domestic? Domesticity? I'm butchering that. Okay, so this is domestic life. This is, again, feeling at home, wanting to nurture somebody. But with the 9 of Swords, why are they worried about that? Do they have money, or do you have money? There's like a material or financial imbalance there. They might be scared. How do I say this? This reads as fear of gold digger. To me, this reads as a fear of being taken advantage of for what they have, or you feeling scared that you're being taken advantage for what you have. This is like a lack of trust because of this, because of money. Interesting. They're trying to have discernment because that emotional connection is there, right? We have Cancer, we have Venus, even Taurus, you know, there's emotionally, there is a bond there, and they do feel connected to you in that sense. But there's just hesitation that maybe you're scared or they're scared of having to be the one that's supporting the both of you. It's like this reads as, are they interested in me or are they interested in my money? So with that being said, I do think it can be worked past. I don't know if you're currently with this person, if this person is a crush. I don't know what your current relationship with this person is like, but there is emotional connection, there is attraction, and there is this sense of commitment, and like you would want to build a home with this person. Does that make sense? With the 4th house and with Taurus, you would want to build a home. You feel like you could see your life with this person. There's just this concern about keeping things balanced and keeping things equal between the two of you. What else do I see here? I really like Venus, poet. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. It's like, I will try. Dilettante? I don't know. This is having an appreciation for the arts. Venus has an appreciation for the arts. Poetry is an art. So with that being said, you may have a little bit of a creative spark in November. You may be feeling particularly inspired in November. And with this card, it says you are limitless. These two together, this is saying you can do anything you put your mind to. It's a real motivational, encouraging card. And this card is, often associated with people who appreciate the arts, but don't often believe that they have the talent. Like they go to the museum and they appreciate everything, but they don't try to create something on their own. This is saying you absolutely could. You absolutely have the potential to start creating if that's a path that you would like to go down. And for some of you, I feel like you have been thinking about that. Maybe this is an idea that you want to expand upon, right? And Jupiter is saying to be positive about it, because as much as you have reservations about this creative talent or skill, as worried as you are about the outcome or what it can turn into, with the Ace of Pentacles, there is the potential to make money off of this. Taurus as well can signify making money off of something, because with Cancer and Venus, it's like your art has a very powerful emotional undertone, or like an emotional undercurrent, which would really resonate and connect with a lot of people. The masculine here is saying to go and do it, right? Masculine energy is very driven, it's very upfront, it's very confident. So this is saying to go ahead and take that leap, because you are limitless. You don't have to be just an observer anymore. You have this artistic, creative spark and inspiration with the potential to really make money, even if you are concerned about the outcome or if you doubt yourself. I see this being a month of heart for you. You are going to be very wrapped up and very consumed with your relationships. As much as I see issues with overspending, that might even be a result of a relationship. Like you want to spoil this person, or people could even want to spoil you. Wouldn't that be nice? So, because with Venus, with Libra, I just saw that too. We have Venus that rules both of these signs. How cool is that? So Venus is like ruling this month for you. And is Venus exalted in Cancer? No. But you know what is exalted in Cancer? Jupiter. So that's cool. So we have, sorry, my astrology nerd just jumped out. But Venus, I see kind of ruling over this month for you. And Jupiter is going to expand that and make it just all consuming. As far as wanting to enjoy yourself, wanting to let loose. But more than anything, it's going to put your relationships in the forefront. Maybe you write poetry about these people you're interested in. Maybe you dedicate some of your creative hobbies and pursuits to them. You draw inspiration from a relationship. It's going to be really important for you to feel secure, to feel loved and supported in your relationships. And I get that, with the 4th house. You know what I'm getting right now? Because this is a house of your past and your roots, right? And Cancer is so nostalgic. Is this for some of you, is this an ex or someone you had something with in the past? Are they coming back? And is that why you're concerned about them? Like if they're from your past, right? It obviously didn't go well back then, so you have some concerns and some reservations and some fears that it's going to end the same way. And that's why, oh God, it's like I'm psychic or something. That's why you already have such a strong emotional bond with this person. Even if you're not in a relationship with them right now, for some of you, you have a strong emotional attachment to them because they are already from your past. Either you dated them already before, or you've had some interaction with them before that art has created and established this connection already. And you do not want to let it go, right? Taurus is stubborn. Wow. Yeah, relationships are going to be all consuming for you in November, group 3. Just, with this Ace of Pentacles and 9 of Swords, I would just say don't spend all your money on them. If you guys go on dates together, you don't have to go to the finest, fanciest restaurants or wherever every time you go on a date. You can keep things low key too. Okay, that's what I get for you, group 3. I hope it all works out for you. I really do. these reservations about the imbalance and inequalities in this relationship, that's what needs to be addressed. Because emotionally the connection is there. There's just a lot of hesitation due to money and like the material. So thank you so much for checking this out. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the next group, and I will see you next time. Group 4, what's good? Let's go ahead and go over what we have here. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the High Priestess, Leo New Moon, we have Mars, Aries, Gemini, the 6th house, spend quality time together, the Wounded Child, Artist, Hunger, Assessing, and the North Node. So what comes to me first, right off the bat, looking at these, are our 2 tarot cards here, the Knight of Pentacles and the High Priestess. This to me reads as you may have been spending a lot of time more introspective or self-reflective. The High Priestess, you know, it's diving into self-exploration, inner wisdom. You may have been trying to work on yourself and develop yourself, which kudos to you. That can be really hard work. But for November, that's going to kind of shift, because the Knight of Pentacles is now urging you to take that exploration outwards. It wants you to try to make tangible results happen externally. Okay, and I say that because we have Assessing and the North Node down here. This is asking you to get out of your comfort zone, kind of break away from what you've been doing, right? And if what you've been doing is the High Priestess, that introspection, that working on the self, this wants you to now put what you've discovered and apply that to the practical world, this practical dimension that we live in. Assess good ideas. What can you do to make that happen? November is going to be a time of outward action and practicality, as opposed to any more internal development or work. You know, if you've been someone, because Assessing tells me that you're someone that was probably a bit of a planner. You like to have an idea of what you're going to do, where you're going to go. It's believing that preparation is key. The North Node is saying it's time to maybe try getting away from that. And now your focus is going to be put into actually doing things, learning by doing, learning by experience. And I say that because we have Mars, Aries, all of this fire energy right here is very, I don't know why volatile came to mind right away. I mean, it can be, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Fire is very action oriented. It's not one to just sit back and let life happen. This is very energetic, very going out and doing. The Leo New Moon urges you to have confidence in this endeavor. The new moon signifying a new chapter, the start of a new cycle. Leo is saying that although this may be uncomfortable for you, that this is something you don't typically do, you know, just diving in without a plan, that you need to have confidence in your abilities and have confidence in what you've learned. You've developed so much inner wisdom and inner knowledge, and now it's time to put that to use. Believe that you can actually do it. So Aries is encouraging impulsivity. It's encouraging to do stuff for you. Kind of shift your focus to yourself, okay? Aries, Leo, these are signs, even Gemini, where because they're signs that are found, you know, in the first half of the zodiac, they're turned more towards self, right? So you need to strike out on your own a bit is what I'm getting here with these tarot cards especially. You know, and speaking of Gemini, it's a very cerebral sign, okay? This is communication, thought processes, but there can also be anxiety and doubt and worry with Gemini because it is ruled by Mercury, and it's just got just a little tinge of nervous energy going on there. So if you have questions, doubts, personal issues that you're trying to work through, getting out and being active in the world is going to be your solution rather than trying to figure it out in solitude like the High Priestess would. This is saying you need to get out and get that real world experience to conquer and overcome those doubts and worries that you have. November is also going to encourage you, when I look at the 6th house here, right, which is all about service, day-to-day life, your work, developing some healthier habits, okay? If there's a project, especially an artistic project or a creative project, now's the time to start projects, habits that can improve your quality of life, because I get this Hunger card a lot, and I'm quite familiar with it at this point. It basically is saying that Whatever you feed is what's going to grow and what's going to develop. So if you have projects or habits that you're wanting to develop, you're going to need to feed it, right? You're going to need to take care of it. Now's the time to develop it further. The Knight of Pentacles is saying November is going to be about how you can make changes that improve your quality of life. And because the 6th house is associated with service, you could even be trying to improve the quality of life for others. It's very sacrificing energy, okay? Wanting to do good. So those doubts and insecurities, they're probably coming from this card right here, the Wounded Child. This card wants to help others. It makes you incredibly compassionate and understanding, but sometimes forgiveness can be hard because there's a lot of blame on the childhood. So any doubts and insecurities that you're dealing with, and I do feel that from this spread that there are some, you know, it probably does stem from childhood issues or issues from your past. Forgiveness is key here, and learning that you can recover and you can have healthy relationships. You're just going to need to get out of your shell of the High Priestess. You're going to have to get out in the world and discover that. You can't, I don't want to say resist moving on, but you can't hold on to this pain and to this wound forever. And with the High Priestess being here, you probably are very much aware of what this is. You're probably very much aware that the issues you're dealing with stem from the past, but you've spent so much time introspective and self-reflecting and trying to come up with solutions on your own that now is the time to really think of yourself. Aries, you know, be a little selfish. Be a little self-centered. Do things that make you happy. Now, in regards to relationships, I'm looking, you know, we have spend quality time together. These cards are telling me, you know, if there is someone that you're interested in, this is aimed more at my single Aquarians here. If there's someone you're interested in or have a crush on, 1, talk to them, okay, Gemini, communication. 2, these are very confident, driven, and assertive cards. I want to tell you in November, step out of your comfort zone and make your move. That's just like clear as day right now, because if we look back at hunger, you can either feed your yearning and your longing, right? You can feed those feelings, or you can feed the part of you that goes after what you want. You know, don't let life pass you by. Don't let opportunities pass you by. Don't let this person pass you by. If you are truly interested in them and want to see where it can go, with these 3 cards right here and the North Node, now's the time to make your move, okay? Because people that you meet in November, with the North Node being here, I feel like the people that you meet this month are going to be people that are potentially a part of your path, okay? The North Node points us in the direction of destiny, what we're meant for. So the people that you meet in November are going to be particularly important and especially meaningful in your life. With the High Priestess here too, in regards to what I just said, I think you know. Okay, I think you know that this person is meant for me, or I'm meant to be in a relationship with this person. I'm meant to have some sort of connection with this person. I feel like the people that you come across in November, when you meet them, you'll know right away, because of the High Priestess, you'll know right away if there's someone you should invest time with or not, or invest time into. Because I do see, just generally speaking, your intuition is going to be on point for November. I do see just very heightened awareness and sensitivity in November, and you should have confidence in that. Don't doubt yourself. If you get a feeling from someone, or if you are receiving messages from spirit, trust in those, because you're very, very receptive to energy this month. Sorry, that just hit me like a brick. I really feel you being aware, almost like claircognizance, when you just know. I feel you just knowing a lot, and especially in regards to other people. And what really affirms that feeling for me is looking at the Artist card, expressing a dimension of life that is beyond the 5 senses. Literally, I can't say it that's incredible. Your intuition, your awareness, your sensitivity, your receptivity is just going to be on point in November. You are operating outside of the 5 senses, okay? You're really going to be especially sensitive towards others, what their thoughts are, what their feelings are. And then with Gemini here, and spend quality time says listen and talk to others. This is listening and talking. You may even find yourself in a position where You know, people are telling you their secrets, coming to you with their problems, with their concerns. You may find yourself really being a listening ear and providing advice and guidance to those who ask for it, to those who come to you, because subconsciously they know that you know. I'm sorry, it's stupid, I'll stop. But anyway, that's what I'm getting for you for this month, group 4. Really crazy, really cool. I hope you can recover from your own wounds, help deal with your own insecurities, and really feel empowered in November, because with Mars, Aries, with all that fire energy, you should be feeling yourself. For sure, okay? I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna fall. Yeah. Impulsivity. Wow, I really can't speak today. Mercury is really in the shadow of retrograde, right? Hello? Oh, it's just the scammers wanting my social security number, I bet.